That one was just rude.
I guess.
I still find it weird that for this game, I don't know if it's true for all Dark Souls. I probably have never paid much attention to it. That strength is what affects your armor.
It does?
Yeah, your strength
Huh.
increases your physical damage resistance.
I remember in the older games, it was like at any level up would give you like a little bit of defensiveness. Like Bloodborne did that. Bloodborne, every point you did anything gave you like 1 point of general defense.
Oh, I wonder if that's the way it is. I'm just...
Hey, I keep remembering I'm giving some shit info, but I'm pretty sure that was the case.
This is the dungeon of nothing but fucking people sitting around the corner waiting for someone to show up.
They've been on high alert for years.
They are the perfect guards. Let none say otherwise. I know if I can get you to come out here, you'll probably just fling yourself off the side.
Oh, at least this guy doesn't have a boss health bar.
Exactly.
Unlike his big brother in that other castle, Castle Hewin or whatever it's called.
Yeah, castle overlooking a rock. Or a cliff. Cliff rock. Rock cliff.
Your Dawn is Raw Dead. Raw Dusk. I don't know.
Main gouch? Gooch? Gouche? Alright, where's this go? Oh, I see now.
You know, I'm still mildly disappointed there wasn't a bit more of a transition to the DLC when you touch Mikula's hand.
Like a,
Some kind of cutscene, transportation instead of just poof, black screen, you're now in the DLC. You know, it helps.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with that. Like the one from Dark Souls, the Light of Lucille. At the very least, you had a nice conversation with her after you found her.
Yeah.
And Dark Souls 3, right, was the painting. So you got a little cutscene for that one, I believe. And again, you had a conversation too.
Yeah. You had the cutscene with yeah, you had the cutscene with what's his name? Yeah.
Yeah, just they're. I don't remember anything particular much when it comes to actually any of the FromSoft DLCs, where we actually got more than what we that we got anything more than what we got for this one.
You know, I suppose that is true. So like, I'm expecting they've never done before, but you know, it just would be nice, just like, you know, a little scene of just to make it more than just a jump. Like, you know, you get a cutscene whenever you do the coffin jump-ins to ride the coffins down.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I also, you know, talked to myself out of thinking that this was the exception rather than the general rule. I feel
Yeah.
like they definitely probably should have more so because again, I feel like it's their biggest release yet, so why not go, an extra step for something that was so popular? But it is in line with what they've done. That's all I can really say.
Yeah.
Like for me, I would always want more cutscenes for Elden Ring. Just because by and large the game is very well designed. And like cutscenes cannot harm it.
No.
The one thing I would like is for like one, you know how you put a bunch of things on your down arrow, your items.
Yeah.
I would like it so that they would have added the option if you hold down on it, it goes back to the slot number 1. Like from
That'd be very
whatever,
nice. Yeah.
from whatever position, you hold down for like 3 seconds, it resets to 1.
Yeah. If I could have one thing that they had from Sekiro, I would love a boss rush mode.
Oh, that would actually sound really interesting.
Or just any way to re-challenge boss fights. You know, kind of like the scenic bonfires in Dark Souls 2.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that'd be pretty dope. Behold, the dung. I don't know, 7 red flesh mushrooms? That's pretty nice.
Behold dung.
People aren't happy about, the mushrooms.
Some people don't like crafting.
Nonsense. Minecraft is hugely popular.
The children didn't play
Yeah. There was there was nothing I could do there. Not a damn thing. I was watching that come down on my skull and nothing else.
Such is fate.
There we go. And then you follow up with a double slash. Are you not going to come out after doing that? No, you slam your boots down and then you walk away. Where are you, 12? I also feel like this DLC is very generous when it comes to actually giving you ruins than the base game was. I feel like you get them a lot easier. Like the enemies are worth a lot more souls.
Makes sense. Probably just to help people catch some extra levels or whatever when they need them. If you're doing this, you can bosses, so it's like, well, I'm not gonna figure it out.
Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh well. Listen, if anyone watches these playthroughs, it's definitely not going to be because I'm good. It's going to be because I talk about the Chevron case.
Well, let's continue our lesson in administrative law, and let us continue with, what's another good one? Tennessee Valley Authority.
Oh yeah, I've always been very clearly interested in the law and legal matters, but I also admit I find myself being displeased with the administration of such as time has gone on.
Yeah. Well, as, you know, never well administered, especially when, you know, enforcement of law you know, what it should be versus what we care about.
Yeah. Again! I did it again. No, I rolled out of the room to get some cover from the archer so I could do a quick heal, and rolled off the cliff. Again.
Oh, no.
just classic Dark Souls. Oh, I did one of the... I actually did mention this before, but I never actually expanded on it. So with the debate between, I guess, the more quality of life changes that we get in Elden Ring versus any other entry in the Soulsborne series was the fact that people whose first Souls-esque game has been Elden Ring, going back and then playing Dark Souls 1 for the first time, and then have nothing but the most bitter complaints about it. And a lot of the complaints, sometimes while valid, it's always the problem when you play more modern entries versus going back to the original. Because, yeah, they did realize that there's some really nice quality of life changes, and as the series has gone on, as you hope most series do, whether or not they actually do is a different story, but they tend to get better as they go. Because the dev team should start understanding what does and does not work. Which has been very much the case for Soulsborne. That being said, the bosses of Dark Souls are, by and large, far easier than the shit you will encounter in Elden Ring.
Yeah.
By design.
Which I feel like is something you would almost hope that they develop their bosses to get even better. But yeah, like DS1 had like, you know, I think the original DS1 at least, like, rolling was like 4-directional instead of omnidirectional.
Yeah, it was also like the controls were a lot clunkier. Like everything about Dark Souls 1 was improved in Dark Souls 2 and then Dark Souls 3. And then to go from Elden Ring to Dark Souls 1 and not understanding that you would be required, probably too strong of a language, but fuck it, it's still the best way to phrase it, requires a degree of forgiveness and understanding of it's not going to, you're not, the sixth installment in a series is going to be vastly different than the first.
7th if we count Demon Souls.
Yeah.
Kind of like the beginning.
Right.
And
so
like, yeah, it was Demon Souls that was omnidirectional. Yeah. Where you had 4-directional dodges. And it's like, they improved that thing with Dark Souls having like, oh, you can now roll diagonally.
yeah.
Ain't that a novel concept?
And yeah, as the games have gone on, the way they are difficult has actually matured as again as the series has gone, because I believe I'm of the opinion that for a lot of Dark Souls 1, the map design was what was very extraordinarily challenging. It was enemy placements, where they were, and then certain gimmicks of the areas that really made it a challenge to get through.
Yeah.
But by and large, from Dark Souls 1, there's really no standout boss where it's like, this thing is freaking impossible. Just because, yeah, the characters, the controls were a little clunky. I think that's fair to say.
One of the things that I liked about Dark Souls 2 that I don't think they ever kept was that I think between New Game and New Game Plus and Dark Souls 2, they actually changed enemy placements.
Yeah, I know Dark Souls 2 gets a lot of grief as basically the bastard child of the Dark Souls series. I never really understood why, because I guess I'm in the minority, but I enjoyed Dark Souls 2. Like it was
a fine game.
Yeah.
I think it gets to being a fine game and an exceptional series kind of thing.
Maybe you're probably right. I think that's fundamentally a bit unfair, though.
Oh, absolutely. But whoever accused gamers of being fair.
True. And like the like I don't know how anyone did not like Half Dragon Bay as the Firekeeper. Come on now. The Firekeeper or Fire Maiden.
Yeah, the Jade Eye, whatever its name is.
Yeah. Like, granted, sure, the 1 in 3, vastly superior. Can't argue. But still. I guess the other thing for 2 was that you needed the Scholar of Sin update for it to kind of be considered exceptional.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, 1 and 3 were fine on release. Whereas 2 needed something of an update.
A little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed 2 a lot. I thought it was good. I thought it was fine. Very different. Oddly enough, I feel 2 was kind of like the land between 1 and 3, and it fit very well in a narrative perspective, because it really did kind of encapsulate, you know, the start of the flame and trying to keep it going, versus the third one where it's been kept going for so long that there's just not enough of it left.
Yeah, it's a good transition game. It's also clear to some extent like the blueprint of what they used when they were like building Elden Ring, with how it feels like the most open world kind of game of the original run.
Yeah, it's very fair.
Yeah, large areas, less, you know, just, you know, you can kind of pick 5 or 6 different paths a bit more openly than the other games, but there's no like looping around like in DS1. They're upping on themselves. And then like just the sheer volume of bosses is also an interesting development.
Mm-hmm. Well, I made it to the specimen storeroom.
Nice.
That.
The Specimen Storm was very reminiscent of like the old Asylum in Demon's Souls for me, with just layers upon layers of different floors to travel, and it's hard to tell like where you've been before and how to get between like the different layers because you are not doing that shit linearly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's an interesting fireball they have. Neat. Little prick. Kinzuka.
Thank you.
Oh, a rune arc, thank God. I never got those 7 I used back on that fight back yet.
I keep forgetting to activate the fucking runes on my first character. God damn it. Don't worry, I have them for the second playthrough.
Yeah. That's when he gets all the stat increases. That's when you're going to actually need them.
Exactly. So you get the fucking XP.
Yeah. I also like the fact that I believe the last time we played, you specifically changed the rune that you had equipped because you're like, oh, this would be so much better.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, about that, kind of need an arc to get the effect.
Listen, Michael Zaki, I know you're listening to this. I know you seek out my feedback in particular. Just give me a setting where I can enable automatic use Dark on Death. You know, do a homie a favor.
Yeah, but make sure it's a setting that's default off, and you gotta go into the menus to turn on, though.
No, default on and just don't tell people so they keep burning the rune arcs.
I love how brutal the backstabs are on the short guys with the pole arms.
Oh yeah, they're fucking nasty.
Just freaking grab them right by the head and say, ah, you're about to take this right along your spine. Brainstem first.
No worry, it'll be painless after this.
Yeah. It's only hurt for a second. Oh, wait. Hey!
It's tarnished.
Righteous tarnished. It's been some time.
So
here I am, quite unable
Here
to
I
move
am.
on.
quite unable to move on. After Lord Moke's slain at his dynastic palace, it appears his body has been absconded with and taken straight to kind Mikola. Surely you recall that I once served Lord Moke as a pureblood knight, after failing him in every regard and losing sight of my vows. I'd do anything to make amends in whatever meager way I can.
Nope, somebody stole
What could they
Moke's
possibly
body.
have in mind for Lord Moke's remains? The implications are rather unnerving. What could they possibly have the
Actually, yeah, what could they do with his remains? So, do you think the default ending, if we ever got, Elden Ring 2 Electric Boogaloo, would be would be the Death Rune ending.
You know, that's a good question. Maybe the Order ending? Or just be whatever ending you get if you just become the Elden Lord.
See, my mind is the death ending, because that's the part of the ring that Marika took out. She took out the Death Rune. So by putting it back, you're undoing, I guess, the damage she did.
It's also true.
Did I explore everything here? Did I go down? I feel like this opens. Yeah, it probably does. There's probably a lever at some point.
Always a lever there is.
Always two there are. Unless somehow Palpatine has returned.
Nah, Palpatine will never come back. No rider would be that bad.
I can't remember which Red Letter Media video it was, but I just remember them talking about that particular moment in the abstract, where I think it was Mike turns around and says, "You know, I legitimately forgot that was a line of dialogue. I had thought it was a meme for the longest time." That
it was probably in their review of the movie, because they never did a Plinkett on it. Like, never just wanted to.
Actually, as far as I know, I think it was one of the more recent videos. He actually mentions that I don't think he's doing any more of the Plinkets.
And yeah, he even said that's too much work to edit and too much pain in the ass to do with YouTube's back end to do so.
Yes.
I think, you know, he's indicated that, like, yeah, if there's something I'm super passionate about, it'll happen, but I'm not just gonna do it for every Star Wars thing, Star Trek, whatever comes out that shits on my childhood.
Yeah. Oh, there actually was a hidden wall. Battlefield Priest's Cookbook. And yeah, like the YouTube's back end can always basically just go fuck itself.
Not that right.
There are too many bad faith actors that just get rewarded for copywriting whatever they fucking can, because they know how much of a hassle it is to deal with. Oh shit, that got me.
And that's the worst part, is when people register a copyright for something they don't have and use it to verify that they're the actual copyright.
And the worst part is, like, I know back in the day, I don't know if it's still this bad. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. But so a video, when it goes up, it earns the most of its money it's going to earn is in the first 3 days or so.
That's probably still true, yeah.
And what would happen with the copyright strikes is they would do it when the video was first released, and they would get the revenue for between the times where it's basically launched and then the creator fights off the challenge. So if you did it early enough, you would actually end up with the bulk of the revenue from this video, and even though if it was struck down, the money was already transferred in some cases. So it was
I think
too late to fix.
I think now what happens is the money's just held in escrow until the situation is sorted out.
Yes.
So like you challenge it, you challenge it, and YouTube won't. So it's like this copyright violation. YouTube pretty much gives you a notification, and you have like some kind of period to challenge it. Otherwise, those are being paid out to the copyright holder. And then until the decision's sorted out, just nobody gets paid, and it gets sorted out from there.
Yeah. And even though they ended up fixing, or at the very least addressing, I'm not going to say fixed. There's the new issue of super chats, where super chats end up getting held for whatever reason, and don't end up getting paid out, and they're just being held by YouTube for a long length of time, and I fundamentally don't understand as to why. And
I wouldn't be surprised if super chats are maybe more vulnerable to like credit card fraud issues, so they maybe hold those back and delete the issues of them just like chronicling their acts. And of course, you're just left with a process that tries to fight with YouTube to pay them out.
Like, a part of me would not be surprised if it turned out that that the money, while it's being I guess handled, if it just doesn't end up in like a small sort of savings account and YouTube is just sitting there trying to collect interest off it.
That is possible. I want to say people have brought up this kind of thing before. I want to say the conclusion is that that's like really illegal for a very small amount of money. Even on like the grand scale of YouTube, it's still a small amount of money. And like the second that came out, like almost certainly inevitably would, it would be like tremendous liability.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
And that's why they hold like the money in escrow, because like, that doesn't accumulate savings for those other payouts.
Mm-hmm. Oh, oh, fuck.
I don't believe escrow accounts generate revenue.
No. Escrow account is just basically it's held by a lawyer rather than a air quotes financial institution. Well, not necessarily a lawyer, but it could be a third party.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember when Jenny Nicholson did her big Star Wars video on the Star Wars Hotel, or she talked about how like she had to deal with some random claims from Disney over their marketing materials or something. So that was like all being published like weeks, and that was a video that got like several millions of views within like a week. So like that's a shitload of money.
I believe it.
I would love to see what the actual payouts on like those videos are between everything.
Oh, when you get to like the millions of views?
Yeah.
I know Social Blade does an estimate, but the estimates are, the reality on the ground is so wildly different than what the, I guess, what the numbers the Social Blade uses are. Iris of Grace. That sounds neat. Actually, yeah, there hasn't been a lot of stuff to add to the flask in the DLC so far.
Yeah, they pretty much all come from the
Base game.
and the furnace golems.
Yeah.
I think one of the disappointments with the DLC, just not some cool new physiques that would have been nice to play around with. I also understand that you covered so many bases in the base game that without just doing super busted uber physiques, you probably find some issues.
Yeah. I'd imagine you're right.
Oh, I hate this fucking jump.
Stay hydrated, gamers.
Stay hydrated.
I hear a water bottle. I must hydrate.
Sponsored by Aquafresh. Use discount code Mr. Al. Oh.
Yeah, that's fine. It's still the gamer tag that shows up on everything. Oh, thank God, a Grace. Alright. Do I get the big door or do I go to the little door? I get the little door. Let me get my shit back. Nope. No reason not to sit. I know I'm about to die anyway.
We are about to die, salute thee.
Must have boiled crab. There we go. Well, maybe I was too hasty. Beast liver. Beast blood.
Beast blood.
Wait, what? It's raining down. Wait, what? What's casting that? Oh, you way the fuck over there.
Oh, you're at the Bridge of Fun.
Yeah. Stop hitting me, you bitch. Oh, I can get mounted? Alright, come here. I had a bone to pick with you. Woo! Alright, you got a bone to pick with me. I can't tell if you have like a snake head or that's your hair. Damn it. Oh, wow. I don't hurt her for much. Because she's a caster, I was just expecting, alright, I just need to get on top of her and she's dead. No. No. She ain't bitch made.
Oh yeah, no, the Fire Warriors are pretty beefy.
I've learned my lesson.
Oh yeah, she got you with her Beyblade move. Classic
Beyblade,
mistake.
Beyblade.
I wonder if they also tell the story of Moses and the Beyblades here in the Lands Between.
That's still my favorite bit of Beyblade lore.
I think everybody's here a bit of Beyblade lore because it fucking exists.
Yeah. Oof. That was nice. Are you a snake? No, you've got a humanish mouth. Very stern, lady. So by the way, I have just discovered that, you know that comment was like, oh man, I really wish you could hold down the down button and reset your selection down to just choice number 1.
It works.
You can do that already, yeah.
They patched it in, you know. They heard you talking shit.
Yeah, live. Like, it was amazing. I've never seen the game update like wobbling before.
You know, sometimes they only update the boss when we're playing, but other times they're like, okay, you know, that's a fair feat. Look at Joe, the unpaid intern, to do it.
Well, as long as he's unpaid.
Exactly. You can't fucking look at what's flat.
Listen, if they wanted to be successful, they should have been born to rich parents like everybody else.
Yeah, pull themselves up by their Louis Vuitton bootstraps.
Exactly. Oh, I thought that was the end of your combo. Ah, my own fault. The flame dancers are reminiscent to me of the Rot Knights, or Melania's Rot Knights. No, Marika's. No, wait, what?
Oh, they're probably like similar things. Like these are the elite units of Mesmer's army.
Yeah. Melania. Yes, that's what it was.
Blade of Nikola.
Yes, Blade of Nikola.
Melania, Mesmer, Melena, and Nikola.
Yeah, they needed to really turn the page on that fucking baby naming book.
Well, listen, they already used all the R's. Radon, Rykard, Rani. There's so many options.
True. Salza's Hood. Rain of Fire. Alright, what don't I have the right for in here now?
When did one ever have the right?
You raise a good point. Another Bhutan. Another Grace. This one looks like a boss fight, though. Maybe not. Is this just outside?
Oh yeah, the path past the door I think just leads up to that plateau.
Oh, what the hell? How?
There are like 4 paths through the Castle of Shadow.
Yeah, like, how did I just meander my ass through the correct way the entire time? Okay. Well, I know I gotta go back there at some point.